I think that this event in Boston is an historical in the sense that for the first time, a leading figure in Boston jury has agreed not to defame me, but to debate me. I think that people who are unable to debate defame and label. And labels are the last refuge of non-thinkers. And so I want to thank my fellow alumnus from TA for having agreed for the second time to debate me, once in New York City, now in Boston. I come this evening to speak to you about things that are painful. Painful subjects, painful topics. For too long, Western Jews, including Western Orthodox Jews, have attempted to run away from the dichotomy, the contradiction between some basic Western concepts and Jewish concepts. And it's very good and very, very easy to speak about what the Jewish people think. The question is, do most Jews really know what Judaism thinks? That's the question. The question not whether 1% of the people voted for me in Israel, or whether that's a large amount, a small amount. The question isn't whether I made the investment. The question is, are the things that I speak the truth? I don't hate Arabs. I love Jews. And there's a great, great difference. We are faced with a problem, and that problem is the contradiction between Zionism, between Judaism on the one hand, and Western democracy on the other hand. And that's not merely a frightening charge. It's a fact. And we have to deal with it. The question isn't, are there good Arabs or bad Arabs? I think it's content for the Arab to state that a good Arab will accept living in the state of Israel. What Arab wants to live in a state which defines itself legally, de jure, as the Jewish state? What Arab? What Arab in Israel? What citizen of Israel? What Arab citizen of Israel stands up every morning and thinks of the fact that his national anthem, Hatikva, speaks such words as Nefesh Yehudi Homia, the soul of a Jew yearns? What Arab can sing those words? And when Tufik Tubi, a Communist Party Arab member of Knesset, opposed a proposed bill to make that the official national anthem of Israel, I understood him. I understood Tufik Tubi, because I understand the Arabs, and they understand me, and neither of us can understand Professor Dershowitz. No Israeli Arab on Independence Day runs out into the streets to celebrate his defeat. I understand that. I understand that when the Arab lives in a state which has a law of return which applies to Jews only, he isn't happy about that. And I understand that if Israel will be a Western democracy which allows Arabs and Jews to have equal rights, political rights, someday they could become the majority. And then there will not be a Jewish state for no Arab, no self-respecting Arab. And they are all self-respecting Arabs. They all have national pride. No Arab, if he has a majority, will ever agree to live in a state which calls itself the Jewish state. And there will be a law of return for Arabs. And rightly so, under democracy. That is the problem. I live in Israel. I don't live in Boston. I live in a country in which the Galilee already has a majority of Arabs. I live in a country where last week, in the Galilee, an Israeli army vehicle was firebombed on the road between Nazareth and Kahane. And that's what will happen again and again. I was at Hebrew University, where 300 Arab students sang the PLO national anthem. They were all Israelis. I'm in a country in which the campuses, Hebrew University, Haifa University, and Tel Aviv, are putting out the future Arab leaders of the PLO. And I understand it. And that's why I say they must go. Because if they don't go, we will go. Innocent people. This is a picture of a man named David Raziel. He's a national hero today. There is a village named after him, Ramat Raziel. Streets in Jerusalem, in Haifa, in Netanya, named after Raziel. Do you know who this hero was? There is a stamp in Israel with his picture on it. You know who David Raziel was? He was head of the Irgun in the 1930s. The Irgun was the underground, same kind of people who today sit in the prison in Israel, in Tel Mond. In the 1930s, the Arabs rioted and killed Jews. 510 Jews were murdered between 1936 and 1938. The official reaction of the Jews was that of a professor, Dershowitz. Havlaga, self-restraint. We don't sink to their level. They shoot us and we bury our dead. David Raziel did not accept that. He accepted the Jewish concept, which is the Talmud, and which means he who comes to slay you, slay him first. David Raziel, the national hero of Israel, planted a bomb in the Arab marketplace in Jerusalem. It went off and it killed 27 Arabs. I'm not happy about that. He wasn't happy about that. But who are we to speak to innocent Jews, to dead Jews, and say, we don't know exactly who the murderers are, so therefore we can't do anything. I don't want to kill Arabs. With God's help, when I become the Prime Minister of Israel, not a single Arab will ever be killed in Israel, because not a single Arab will be there.